Hello, welcome to Mini Myths. The story I'm going to be telling you today is one all about not being greedy and loving what you already have. This is the story of King Midas. I hope you enjoy it. So, Midas was the king of the Greek country Phrygia. He was a very powerful king and lived in a great palace with his wife Dionysus and his daughter the Princess Marigold. Midas was loved by his people and was rich enough that he could live very happily. But he still wanted more. Midas believed that his happiness in life was based on the amount of gold that he owned, and he was incredibly greedy, so much so that he would spend his time counting his coins instead of spending time with his family. On one particular day, the god of wine and festivities Dionysus and the half-man half-goat Silenus went through the kingdom of Phrygia. They met Midas and he invited them to stay in his palace for a few days, which they did, and he was incredibly nice to them during this time. Because of how kind he had been, Dionysus promised he would grant Midas any wish that he wanted. And being greedy, Midas said that his wish was that anything he touched would become gold. Dionysus tried to warn him against this, but Midas insisted, and so Dionysus used his magic and told Midas that from that moment on, anything that he touched would become gold. Midas then went home to Phrygia, and he went straight into his palace. He started to run around, turning things to gold, and this made him incredibly happy. It made him so happy that he was even richer than before, that for the next few days he ignored his family so that he could turn more things into gold. After running and dancing through the rooms of his palace for a while, Midas grew hungry and thirsty. He sat down at a table, which he turned to gold, on a golden chair, and he had his servants bring him a meal, and then they left him to eat it. He reached to pick up a slice of bread, which became gold, and the same thing happened when he tried to reach for water and grapes. This scared Midas, as he believed he would never be able to eat or drink again, and because of this he ran to his bedroom crying. Seeing her dad upset, Midas's daughter Marigold went into the room to see if her father was okay. He tried to get her to leave the room, but she wouldn't, and then she forced him into a hug. The minute he hugged her back, Marigold became gold. Midas cried even more, then prayed to Dionysus to take the curse from him. The god appeared before him, and saw that the entire room had been turned to gold by Midas, and saw Midas hugging the golden statue that was his daughter. Midas looked up and saw the god before him, and begged him once again to take his power. Out of pity, Dionysus agreed, and told him to go and wash his hands in the river Pactolus, and place his daughter's statue in there as well. Midas did so, and his power was removed, and the running water turned Marigold into a human once again, and everything in his palace turned back to what it used to be. After this, Midas became nicer and less greedy, and he spent a lot more time with his family. This myth teaches us not to be greedy, to listen to warnings, but most importantly, it teaches us that money does not buy happiness, and it can sometimes cause more harm than it can good. And that is the end of that myth. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment or subscribe. If you know any friends who might like this channel, please let them know. And if you learn about myths in school, I would really appreciate you telling your teachers about my channel, as it would be a great help. Let's keep classics alive. I will see you next time on Mini Myths.